I'm going to recreate the makeup I did on Aline for the Lunamum magazine. It's a beautiful autumnal look and beautiful products, and she looked stunning in the shade. So let's recreate this look. Photo shoot or everyday life, I want my foundation and concealer and the complexion products of my client to look like skin. A good skincare prep is key, and you don't need a lot. You don't need 10 steps for your makeup prep. This is what I used on Aline. I used the Naya day cream. This one is a tried and tested. It is a very lightweight day cream that really moisturizes and hydrates the skin, but it gives you that really relieving moisturization. On Aline, I also dropped in a couple of drops of Save the Ocean. It's squalane oil, 2 drops for the whole face, and I mixed it into that nice day cream for an added glow. Before I applied the moisturizer, I spritzed the face with the probiotic mist by Xeno. This one is empty now, but I love putting this before skin just feels so much more relieved and hydrated. For my foundation, I used the trusty blender cover. On Aline, I used shade 2.25, which is quite neutral rosy. If I want to use blender cover for my whole face, not only to color correct, I have to do a little concoction. And I'm using my trusty Fit Glow corrector in the blue-green and 2.5 as a base color. No, I love this product so much. This is one of my favorite concealers and foundations. Still hoping for her to release a light olive shade. You can see my mixture again. This is 2.5 on its own, and this is with the mixture, and I'm gonna add it with my finger on the areas that want most of the coverage. I'm taking a buffing brush and I pat that texture in. It's so lovely. It just melts into the skin easily. Smaller brush, pack on a little bit of that pigment, and then softly push that color on my nose and anywhere where I want detailed coverage. Just color correct underneath the eyes the natural way. This is going to do the trick. You don't need a lot of product, and you don't need to put concealer all around. I'm gonna cover more with the color again than with the texture using the Perez Litchi corrector. This is the shade 3. You can see it's nice and peachy, and the texture is thin, and we want to go in thin. Let's try it with 1 dot, and I'm gonna use my brush again and then softly dab it in. You don't want to go too far underneath the eyes. It just looks weird sometimes, and this little shadow is nice. Leave it there before you conceal. Just try it out. There's almost nothing on my brush left, so I'm gonna dab it in the outer corners, but can you see what just 1 dot of the right color? Let me come close so you can see the difference, and let me go back so you can see that again. 1 dot of the right color that goes against my blue purpley under eyes. This is where I put it. I don't go too far in, I don't go too far out here. Also going to lighten and brighten with Eins by Monica Blender and the detailing brush just right here where I want a little bit of light. Once again, a very little product, and a little bit on the sides of my nose. Also going to be nice because this brightness is going to distract from what's going on here. A little bit in the center, and we're going to take a bigger brush and really softly buff it out until it's melted all in. And this is the base done. It's very lightweight, but still covered to go on a photo shoot and or even the day-to-day, because we covered more with color than with texture. I think I have to put it into a song or something like that. And I also added the Bright Pencil by Sweet, so it's just gonna brighten and lighten my eyes a little bit. Let's get into bronzing. You know how much I love to layer. I love using cream products. I love to layer cream products, and then I like to kind of seal them in with a powder in the same category. So I'm gonna start with my cream bronzer. This one is Tea by 1999. It's a stick bronzer and a kind of gel like texture. It's so beautiful, and it's a very neutral bronze, so I'm just gonna buff it in. It's melting into the other products so nicely. It gives that much needed warmth to really bring life to the skin. Going onto the product and then dab it into the skin. Before I layer with a powder bronzer, I'm gonna use my first layer of blush, and this is the shade Chamoisé by Manasi 7, which I also use on Aline as a first color of blush. Something fresh yet not too overpowering. So we have our first layer of bronze and blush, and we'll come back to that later. But now let's get into the eyes. On a photo shoot like that, you mostly don't have a lot of time. I had an hour for hair and makeup, and we did switch of the look as well. So for the first look, I used the pencil Oro by Eric Perez as a liner. On the lips, we used Earthen. Isn't that just such a nice, that was such a nice combination. But the second look made the cover, and for that I used Where You Know, the Gen Z liquid eyeshadow in Hollywood. So let's do that. This is my secret weapon when I do someone's makeup and I have to be quick. So I applied that with my finger, had my brush ready, my blending brush ready, and then I buffed it out with a blending brush. Went in with a soft second layer to intensify the color and this nice metallic sheen. Same on the lower lash line, just a little bit, buffing it in again and a little bit out, no liner. Of course, I went in with a highlighting shade. This one is, did I grab the right one? Where are you? Moonlight by Gen Z. That went into the inner corner. But you know what I like to do? I like to put it a little bit in that inner part that doesn't crease. A little bit underneath the brow. Blend it with a finger quickly. Soft and effortless brows. I use the brow powder by RMS. I don't really like visible like brow strokes too much. Alina had beautiful brows, so I just had to fill in a few gaps and like make them enhance the structure that we already had. Mascara, I used the dark brown Cloud Set mascara by Sweet, and it fits the eye makeup quite nicely, I think. And not to worry, this is not the tube that I used on her. Let's use our second layer of bronze. This one is Beach Walk Betty powder bronzer. This is the Hydra bronzer, so it's not a traditional chalky powder. It was once like, I think, a gel-based product and then was pressed down into that powder. This is why I'm actually applying it with a very soft buffing brush to have a little bit more control. This will intensify my bronze a little bit more, gives it dimension. It will last a little bit longer now, a little bit. It's going to last until you take it off, because if you work in intentional layers with different textures, your makeup is just going to last longer and just look a little bit more multi-dimensional, I would say. High points of the cheeks, I just had to put a nice pop of pink. This is French Rosé and it has that beautiful shift in there. And for that, I'm going to go on the highest point of my cheeks. And I have that first layer of blush right here. You can see that still. And that popping shade is going to blend into that first layer of blush, but it's not going to go all the way in. Instant kick of freshness. Also went in with the highlight stick by 1999 in Miele. I'm gonna add it on top of the highest point of my cheekbones. And then we have that dance of different colored highlights. We have that more champagne-y shade underneath the brows that is now going to melt into that peachy highlight, which just gives so much interest to the makeup without being super overpowering. Before I do the lips, I'm gonna powder. Hyaluronic powder by Fit Glow. Buff in a little bit of the product into a small brush, and I'm gonna hit the area very softly, especially through the center. I use the shade Gala on her. So nice, quick, and easy. It's a soft matte formula. Let me apply it and blend it out to show you. And then I also went in with Monica Blender lip liner in Kelly. This one has a little bit more of a berry punch to it on the outer edges. The lip with a little bit more Kelly in the mix. And what I also did, use the winter lip tint. Have that glossiness in the center. Not too much outwards because we want the pout to be more frontal. Let's use one little step that brings the look together, I think. So I'm gonna use What's on My Lip. Works best with an unscented matte lipstick formula or lip liner formula. And I'm gonna use it, just the pigment, on top of my blending brush. So really working in that texture, that pigment, because I only want the color. And then I'm gonna open my eyes, determine where I want that color to sit, and then lean back and add that glow of color, that soft rosiness. Do you see that? How it brings that eye look together, like a beautiful transition shade. Brings harmony to the face because we have repetition of color. This is the finished cover look. This actually would be a nice festive, like Christmassy look. I am obsessed with this multi-layered lip. Please let me know if you enjoyed, if you would try it. If you have any questions on any topic that we discussed today, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed. Have a lovely day and I see you again very, very soon. Mwah.